what's up? How's everybody doing? I wanted to talk about facts. I wanted you to have your take on what's the kind of some weird things or some inaccurate thing that you were told and that you believed and that you might have repeated, or that you might have just heard even if you did not believe it, even if you did not spread it or repeat it. Sometimes there are some things that are commonly said and it's just not accurate. Now, there's one thing that came to mind is when people say, some people say, indeed, it might sound strange and unbelievable, but some people say Islam abolished slavery. Islam abolished slavery. Some people do say that. Now, is there anything, there's another thing also that I read this one. It was some Jehovah's Witness literature, and it was talking about the world, as they say, and it touched on dinosaurs, and it was saying that booklet was saying that the dinosaurs' remains or bones have been purposely left by the devil to have people not believing in the creation of the earth as told in the Bible. Because obviously, for those who don't know, if you look at dinosaurs and dates for the bones, that's in the millions of years. And even the remains of Lucy, which for a long time were known as the oldest hominids, I think that's what it's called. You know, there's those technical terms, but they have found all the remains, but that's 2 million years old. And if you know about, if you know about the dates, I even have something. I will look for it, actually. I will look for it, but you have the dates given in the Bible of the age that people had when they begot such and such son, and then you can work out the timing, and really, according to the dates in the Bible, the world was created like 6,000 years ago. So it's really problematic when you have remains that are millions of years old. So that's why they were saying this in that booklet. And it's funny because when it comes to facts, it's not very complicated. You need evidence or proof, right? And it all ties with science. Science is something that's understood, mastered, and can be repeated. Now, I'm giving a blunt definition. As you can see, I'm driving. I have to worry about the road first. But what I'm saying is not scripted, okay? You have some people, for example, even in African consciousness, for example, they'll claim to have powers. A lot of time it's placebo effect. Because if it was really working for the most part, we will definitely know about it. You understand what I'm saying? So you have those stones that are addressed, for example, in the life, people selling stones, rocks, precious stones that are allegedly supposed to give you some energy, supposed to heal you and give you such and such benefit. You have people who do consultation. You even have many people who deal with tarot cards. And that's amazing to me because when you look at African history, did we used to deal with tarot cards? Is that something that we knew about? And some people are even bolder when it comes to spirituality, because some people, I was told about that. My sister told me, there's a dude, he told her, if you want me to initiate you, then we have to sleep together. Some people are just bold like crazy. Some people use that in order to get sexual gratification. But now, when we talk about science, that's where the difference lies with belief. And I said many times, believing is not knowing. And the biblical story is something very interesting, because there's about 1 billion people worldwide who believe in it. They really believe that those things happen. But when we look at the evidence, the proof that we have, the proof or evidence, let's say evidence sounds better than proof, because proof has a connotation that if it's a proof, then that's what it is and that's it. Undisputable. Evidence. For instance, is there any evidence of the Red Sea parting in two and people walking, and then the Pharaoh's army try to follow them and the water submerges Pharaoh and his army? When we have records of Egyptian history for centuries, for millennia, and there is not a single mention. Oh, you know, oh, by the way, today was sunny, and it was a lovely day, but by the way, Pharaoh and his army died today. What is a shame is that many times, just because many people believe in something, then people will follow it blindly. And I could make an analogy about status. You have some people who have some labels who are considered top guys. For example, in African consciousness. So they can run around and talk any BS that they want because they have that label. They are seen as master teachers. And that's why one of the craziest things that was claimed publicly on tape, now it's in French, but I mentioned it many times because it is still there, is that French teacher, follower of Cheikh Anta Diop, who is very respected in France. He's like one of the most respected historian and scholar of black history, and he doesn't even have a PhD, but he calls himself a professor. You know, he claimed that he he had a thesis and even mentioned names. But anyway, I don't want to dwell too long because you don't know him anyway. But this guy publicly showed the Nubians' depiction of Muhammad, and he said this is a depiction according to the testimonies of the time, and even said he has depiction of Muhammad when he was even younger, and that's crazy. You have so many things like that. But I will leave it there because it's almost 10 minutes. What are the things that you've heard, the claims that you've heard, whether you believed in them or not? What are the crazy things that's floating around? Even if it's years ago, I'm just curious, you know. And some might come, and I think I will share them just for the record. One of the reasons why people really dislike Kemet is because when it comes to evidence, we have plenty. There's no civilization that has as much. But anyway, I will holler at you later. Stay safe, stay healthy. Hotep.